to the Dark Side Podcast with your host, DeeMoe, my hero.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Dark Side Podcast. I'm your host, DeeMoe, my hero. We're going to be talking about some NFL stats and analytics from the Week 1 season of the NFL. Today's game is going to be between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans.
It's Texans, not Texas.
Like I said, we're going to be talking stats. Then we're going to rewind and review the game. And finally, we're going to jump into some of the analytics of the game that we can take from the game to help us out in some of the games to come. So with that said, we have the stats for Week 1, Kansas City versus Houston, Texas.
It's Texans, not Texas.
We have quarterback Alex Smith of Kansas City with 22 completions off 31 attempts for a total of 243 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rushing the ball, we have Jamal Charles, 16 attempts for 57 yards. We have Davis, 6 attempts, 16 yards. Alex Smith, 9 attempts for 15 yards. And finally, we have Thomas with 1 attempt for 9 yards. Receiving the ball, we have Kinkley with 6 receptions for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a long of 42 yards. McLean, we have Macklin, we have 5 receptions for 52 yards. Charles, 5 receptions, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. Wilson, 3 receptions for 25 yards. Davis, 1 reception, 12 yards. Thomas, 1 reception, 2 yards. And on the other side of the ball, we have Houston Texans quarterback Hoyer, 18 completions off of 34 attempts for a grand total of 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. We have Ryan Mallett with 8 completions off of 13 attempts for 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Rushing the ball, we have Blue for 9 attempts for 42 yards. We have Grimes with 6 attempts for 28 yards. He had a long of 21 yards. Hope, 5 attempts for 22 yards. And Mallett with 1 attempt for 6 yards. Receiving the ball, have Washington, 6 receptions for 105 yards. He had a long of 32. Hopkins, 9 receptions for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shorts, 4 receptions for 57 yards. Humphreys, 2 receptions, 23 yards. And to round out the bunch, we had a bunch of 1 receptions with Griffin, 1 reception, 18 yards. Polk, 1 reception, 9 yards. Blue, 1 reception, 7 yards. And Grimes, 1 reception for 2 yards. All right, so that's the stats from the game. Let's do a little bit of rewind and review of the game.
The rewind and review from the NFL game.
The deciding factor of this game was turnovers and defense, but more just the turnovers from the defensive pressure that was caused in this game. Kansas City, they benefited of 2 turnovers, and they scored both times off of those turnovers. Excellent field position. The first one was an interception thrown by Hoyer to a rookie of all people. I mean, he didn't even look over there, really. He glanced over there, seen Hopkins, threw the ball, and a pick at the 13-yard line, I believe. Then he also, later in the game, he had a strip fumble, like at the 13 or the 7-yard line. And like I said, Kansas City, they benefited off both of these turnovers by turning those into touchdowns, as they should. Also, in this game, we had a blown coverage by one of the defensive backs of Houston, allowing Kelsey to just run up the sideline for a 42-yard score. And to me, this Kelsey guy, he has like some of the best celebrations whenever he scores. But like I said, this game actually started off pretty good defensively. Uh, both teams had issues running the ball in the first half. I think towards the end of the game, Kansas City they started to do a lot more screens and stuff like that to help them out. But going forward, I would take from this game that even Kansas City, the score it was like 27-6 early in the game, probably like the second half, like with 5 minutes probably less to go in the game or less. But Kansas City, they put up points just looking at the scoreboard, but just offensively, like I said, 21 of those points came off. Two of them came off turnovers. One of them came off a blown coverage, and the rest of their points were just field goals. So looking at the scoreboard, I don't know if their offense is as strong as the scoreboard suggests. But Macklin, he looked good in the game, and Alex Smith, he does what he does with the runs and with the nice short passes or whatever. But Houston, man, whew, that quarterback, man, it hurt him. The quarterback play hurt him a lot. I mean, even the accuracy of his passes was all over the place, and even when he did connect, it was like uh, drop passes and stuff like that. Man, he threw a lot of behind the receivers. Even that one in the end zone, it was kind of behind the guy. I know they was trying to get a pass interference out of it, but the accuracy on that ball was way off. But of course, J.J. Watt plays out of his mind. The guy's not human. Clowner, he looked good. Wilford looked good too. Like I said, they came in on sub packages when they was in there. But as far as the weaknesses goes on either side, to me, Houston, defensive backs, linebacker in coverage is a weakness. Kansas City, offensively, he still didn't throw it to a receiver for a touchdown, but I think he will with Macklin there. Macklin, he actually looked pretty good. And like I said, again, on the other side of the ball, quarterback play, man. They need to target Hopkins a little bit more. I don't think he only had like maybe one or two targets in the first half. And when the the second string quarterback got in the game, Malik, he targeted him to death. Like 6 out of his first 9 passes was to Hopkins, and I mean Hopkins ended up with like 98 yards, but most of it was like garbage time. But he's like I said, they got a lot of work to do on that side for his quarterback if they want to stay competitive. And now with that, let's get into some of the analytics that we could take from this game and move forward to the next game.
All these guys who run these organizations who talk about analytics, they have one thing in common. They're a bunch of guys who ain't never played the game, and they never got the girls in high school, and they just want to get the game. It don't work. That's why analytics don't work at all. It's just a crap that some people who were really smart made up to try to get in the game because they had no talent. Because they had no talent to be able to play. So smart guys wanted to fit in, so they made up a term called analytics. Analytics don't work.
The lack of faith is disturbing.
Kansas City, some of the good analytics / trends going forward from this team. Got good tight end play. Also a good defensive line. It's going to create a lot of pressure. A lot of sacks. Also good screen play. So some of these analytics will help you because stats ain't gonna be able to show you everything on how they actually got those stats. So on the bad side of the thing, Kansas City they really, even though like I said, they showed a lot of points on the scoreboard, but they offense is really a low power offense. So Points was some of the bad for its trends going forward, and also defensive back play. Like I said, they have a rookie on that on out there, so expect some good, some bad out of that defensive back play. On the other side of the ball, Houston, some of the good was the defensive line play. So expect a lot of pressure, a lot of sacks, even a lot of batted balls. Um, if they ever face, a team with a weaker offensive line, should be a really interesting game. Okay, some of the bad for Houston was defensive back coverage as well as the linebacker coverage. Also on that bad, we have the running game and quarterback play. So take these trends slash analytics and hopefully they'll help you out moving forward. I'd like to thank you for joining me. This is Dark Side Podcast. I'm your host, DeeMoe, my hero. See you next time.